Welcome back to the channel. My name is Luna and this is the LunaGalaxy here on YouTube, and I am coming in with a special CAS creation here. Before we get started, I want to tell you guys to make sure you thumbs up this video, subscribe, and hit that little bell so you don't miss any of the next videos. We have so many lined up. I do schedule out a lot of my videos, so there are a ton already ready, and I wouldn't want you to miss any of those. Well, going forward, as I said, this is a special CAS. This is actually a family creation CAS that I am doing. I am doing a mother, a father, and their new infant from our most recent update. And the gameplay is for our most recent DLC, which is Growing Together. So we're tying in the update and the new DLC pack for our new Let's Play family that you've probably already seen an episode of. And this is when I was creating them. So we have Jerome, who I'm working on first. He is an aspiring police officer. He moved his family to Sulani to help out his wife, who does have roots in Sulani, but she had moved away when she was young, and so she wanted to come back and raise her child where, you know, she grew up and loved being around. The one thing that I'm noticing with my cast is that I do want to incorporate more of different body styles, body types, but I am using my ethnicity, people of color, to fill up my specific save file. That is something that is near and dear to me, and it's something that speaks to me, and hopefully that is appreciated across the board, but that is neither here nor there. As we're creating him, like I said, I do need to get a little bit more body style. Most of the creative sims that I create usually do have CC in them. I don't share a lot of my creative sim characters because, one, I don't do create a sim a lot. And if I do create a sim, it is literally, I have a specific person in mind, and that means I'm most likely going to specifically use CC. Now, of course, if you go into my gallery, you will see my sims in my gallery, because I put all of my sims, I put everything in my gallery, because I've actually lost items, whether it be sims or builds, because my library randomly deletes, and then I lose them. There's no tracking them back. But if they're in my gallery, they're online and they're always there. I've had to re-download my own stuff because my library was missing. So FYI, if you ever have that problem, just put everything on the gallery, whether it's CC or not, because I'd rather my stuff be safe and I can grab it anytime than lose my library. I've lost my library like 4 times in the past 5 years. And there's some builds I absolutely cannot get back, and some sims that I cannot get back. I have no idea where they are, and I've just moved on. So FYI, there's a little tip for you if you want to save your stuff. But I go through, and as I'm like just working on him and coming up with this vision of how I want to play him, but of course things come up in game that make it a little bit more exciting, or, you know, it turns a certain way that you weren't expecting. But in the end, he does want to be a police officer, possibly wants more kids. I haven't decided, especially with the new infants and a lot more gameplay and family play. I haven't really done more than 3 sims in a household where I feel comfortable with, so that is a challenge for me. So now we're doing Anaya. She is a very holistic, is the best way to put it. She is a yoga enthusiast, a yoga instructor. She will be a traveling yogi. She does guided meditation, and she's very about just natural, flowy, and just being down to earth and enjoying life and all the things. And that's why I really felt like her being in Sulani and doing her practice there, she'd be able to travel and do it on the beach and the parks. She really, really fits in for being in Sulani. I wanted to, with her, actually put her more into using more of the features that they gave us with the skin details. I tend to forget in cast that they've given us a lot more than what, you know, I look at. So it took me a little bit longer to do these set of sims because I was literally going to every category to make sure I didn't miss anything. That was one of my biggest things of if I'm going to be making myself go into create a sim more, I want to make sure I know everything that is there, that is available to me, and I don't want to miss anything. Whether it be, the freckles on the face, the scarring on the body, or any type of detailing that they've offered to us. Really, the only detail, which I've said before, I don't really care for the stretch marks. I don't know what it is, but those are probably the least realistic thing that The Sims has added to the game. I think the stretch marks from Panda Sama's realistic birthing mod are more believable than the ones The Sims put in. I don't know if it's just me or what, but I don't know. I want to use them, but I don't like how they end up looking, and that's on any body type. I don't know. They don't look right. Maybe it's just me. I'm looking too much into it, caring a little bit too much. But when you make a sim that you want to have it, and it's like that doesn't look right, and it just visually throws me off. But as I'm creating her, like I said, she's very loving, very caring. She is very jealous, though. She kind of turned to yoga and turned to meditation because she knows she does have that little bit of like jealousy streak. And so anytime she sees her husband talking to another, woman of interest, she gets very a little, so she goes to meditate and do yoga to try to calm herself a little bit. But she's not crazy. She's not insane, okay? There's a difference. She's just very protective of her husband. And like him, she is kind of debating on whether she wants to have another child. They love their son, Marquise. He resembles her to a T because when I created the infant, I went ahead and did the genetics. And I didn't really want to touch a lot of what the genetics did, because sometimes Sims genetics can be kind of awkward, especially when you're in game and you have a baby with that sim and it's like, where did that come from? But when you're in create a sim and you do the genetics, like I feel like it ties it in a little bit more, but then you can go in and still edit the baby. But I feel like if I go in and edit the child, it's not exactly like using the genetics they came with compared to the Sims that you just created. So I didn't touch much on the infant when I did the genetics for them, because I wanted to keep it as close to them as possible. One thing that I feel like I feel like my Sims end up resembling each other because, I don't know, like there's something with their faces. I'm like, do my Sims look different? Part of me feels like they don't. I don't know. I think this is why I just don't touch CAS a lot, because I'm not good at adjusting and making different shapes of faces and different shapes of bodies. I don't have to think that hard when I'm building. I don't know. I don't know if that's weird. Some people probably think, no, you think more building. I don't think that hard when I'm building. Making Sims, I don't know. Sims 4 did not really just capture me compared to like Sims 3. I made Sims all the time. Building was the last thing on my mind. But I don't know what's happened here. Maybe it's just a turn of events and things that I wanted to aspire to do or what have you. But as I'm going through here, another thing that I am really pushing to use for are the tattoos. I always forget we have tattoos. Part of me wants to go to look up CC tattoos, but as I've said before, I'm not huge on CC because I don't do a lot of CAS, I don't do a lot of gameplay, but if I had to choose, I would rather be playing more with my Sims and not really care aesthetically what else is going on their bodies or in my game. So that's why I don't have a lot of CC. There are CC that I usually will always go to. I like making their eyes look more realistic. The base game eyes just look like they're dead on the inside. Like, I don't know what it is, but base game eyes just, they could have did a little bit better on them. But the CC eyes are something I will usually always go to no matter what sim I'm creating, because I just think it looks more fitting on their face. And eyelashes. I wish I could find some eyelashes that are more quote unquote male style, that fits their face a little bit more, because everyone has eyelashes. And I've tried to put some like a basic female eyelashes on my males and they just don't look right. So maybe that's something that I just need to look up for myself. But I made her very colorful. I feel like most of her outfits are very colorful. I don't know why, but I feel like she's like a Cardi B. I don't know why I just had that thought. Looking at her, I'm like, I feel like she's like a Cardi B girl. Or I don't know. That was a random thought I had as I'm watching her. And I created this. This is what came to me. But who knows my thought process of when this goes along. But I did have fun creating them and sitting here and actually making a whole family flow. This is probably my second full family that I've made. The first one was the Wright family, which there's 8 of them, including a wife. So I'm like, yes, let's just make the families and make them great and all the things. And so we put all that together. And I'm really, really enjoying being able to put all this together, and growing together has made this a lot. I feel like a lot more fun to want to create these families and give them their households and connect them a little bit more. So coming from someone who really stepped away from gameplay, Growing Together has really pulled me back into it compared to the last few DLCs that just gave us that little hint of things here and there. I feel like this is what someone like me needed. I needed a big reason to see, okay, pulling my families together, how's this going to work? How is it going to get me back into gameplay and the connections that I'm having? So I'm excited to now possibly try a legacy and see how far we can go and how deep we can dive into. And the Crenshaw family just might be the one. So as we are creating a baby Marquise, he's adorable. You don't get a lot of options with the infants changing clothes and stuff. But you know, they're still there. So we're going to be running up on all of the looks of these Sims. So I appreciate all of you. Check out all the links down below to check out the lives and so much more that's coming here to the channel. And have a good rest of your day or night wherever you are. And this is LunaGalaxy out.